Hi, welcome to the Ascent of Mount Carmel YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about scapulars. Scapulars is something that people wear, and here's mine. And I wear this all the time. It's the brown scapular. And I wear it 24/7, and the only time I take it off is when I take a shower or whether I go swimming. Now, unfortunately, a couple times when taking off my undershirt, I keep it on under my shirt, it's come off with the shirt and gone into the laundry. And as you might have seen from looking at it, it's taken quite a beating from going through the laundry. When my scapular was missing, I didn't know it was in the laundry. I got anxious. So there are several different types of scapulars, and they all arise out of different monastic traditions. Most late Catholics wear the brown scapular, which is also called the scapular of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. This scapular, of course, arises out of the Carmelite tradition. I'll tell you a little bit about the background of the scapular today. The earliest scapulars were really outgrowths of what lay people were wearing in their regular day-to-day clothing. They looked a little bit like oversized long ponchos, and actually they were like aprons for agricultural workers. And early monks would wear these, and over the many years, actually centuries, these became incorporated into their habits, and so they gradually became an item of devotion. The scapulars that monks wore were called monastic scapulars. And I hope you remember St. Anthony the Great of the Desert. We talked about him with our 2 installments on the Desert Fathers. Here's a depiction of him wearing a scapular. Subscribers of this channel know that St. John of the Cross was a Carmelite. And the brown scapular has had a special significance to Carmelites since St. Simon Stock, a Carmelite monk who lived in the 1200s, received a vision of the Blessed Mother where he was given the Carmelite scapular. Afterward, the Carmelite scapular became an even more important devotional for all Carmelite monks. They were required to wear them at all times, even when they were sleeping. It is a certainty that St. John of the Cross wore a brown scapular. In time, however, it became acceptable to wear a smaller scapular while sleeping. According to the Catholic Encyclopedia, during the 1500s, the time in which St. John of the Cross lived, Carmelites had started switching from wearing monastic scapulars to smaller scapulars more similar to those devotional scapulars that lay people wear today. Are scapulars an item that are absolutely necessary to achieve divine union? No. But as we've said with past videos, if we're going to try to use St. John as a benchmark and try to emulate what he did, why wouldn't you wear a scapular? All the sacraments of the Catholic Church are prefigured in the Old Testament. And in the same way, many sacramentals are prefigured in the Old Testament. For example, Deuteronomy says, "Thou shalt make strings at the hem of the 4 corners of thy cloak, wherein thou shalt be covered." Numbers also speaks of fringe at the hems of garments, and it says, "Speak to the children of Israel, and thou shalt tell them to make themselves fringes in the corners of their garments, putting in them ribbons of blue, that when they shall see them they shall remember all the commandments of the Lord, and not follow their own thoughts and eyes going astray after diverse things, but rather being mindful of the precepts of the Lord, may do them and be holy to their God." So just as devout Israelites had fringe at the hems of their garments to remind them to not stray after creatures and attachments, but be mindful of the precepts of the Lord, so too should we wear a scapular to remind us not to be attached to creatures and to be mindful of the ways of the Lord. So this was just a short video. Next week we're going to start on Book 2 of Ascent of Mount Carmel. I look forward to talking to you then. Until then, though, please pray for the church.
Crazy about a song.